One, two, three. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast that you just clicked on, and this one is going to be the best one ever. Action Toon Brothers! I'm Ben Sturgeon, and with me is the king of black metal, Matt Lewis.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
Okay, joking aside though, yeah. So, Matt.
Yep.
Did you remember your homework assignment?
Yeah. I have listened to the Arch Enemy 2022 album, Deceivers.
Good. We're not going to get into it yet, except for basic question, basic answer. What did you think of it?
I'll say that I loved the drumming in the songs. The speed of it was very fucking fun. Also, the female lead vocalist, I could barely fucking tell that it was a female singer for the majority of the songs. There's only like two of them that I could actually tell that she like spoke in a normal, like more feminine voice than her metal voice. But yeah, fucking very fun album. Very fun. I guess we'll get more specific later. You said you want to cover like everything now for it.
Oh, no. That's going to be the post episode thing. Because remember, I still have to give you your next assignment, too.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say also,
yeah.
Did you, Ben, in the meantime, before that, like other metal stuff, have you listened to any other new albums or anything like that recently?
Actually, surprisingly enough, yes, I did. There is a band. Hold on a second. Good thing I pulled out my Spotify for this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a metal band. Another female vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of metal band. Come on, find it. We're not supposed to have technical difficulties here. Oh yeah. Called Daedric. Kind of like the Skyrim Daedric.
Yeah.
And the album in question is called Mortal. That's this is like the first album I've ever heard of them, and I've only gotten like halfway through it because it's a 10-song thing. I've only listened to like the first like 4 or 5, and so far I dig it. Like it's they're fairly new. Like I think they started in at least this album was 2023, which I think that might be their first album too. Yeah, it is their first album. So for like a newer metal band, like, they show some promise so far. But again, I have yet to hear more of their stuff, and I have yet to judge them on their first album kind of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say another side metal thing I just came across just randomly online. Did you see the thing with the Miss World competition? The Chile representative.
No, I did not.
Okay, her name is Ignacia Fernandez. She was in the Miss World competition for, like Miss America thing, but the global version for Chile. And she is actually in a metal band called Dethzazz. And like during the talent portion of the thing, she literally started singing. I think she did a cover of like an Arch Enemy song or something like that. She is like, obviously she looks like an absolute supermodel. But she like during this Miss World competition, this beauty pageant thing, she like literally started doing her metal album from her band and also a cover from Arch Enemy. Her band's name is Dethsiduals. She's fucking awesome as hell. It is incredible.
Decius, you said, huh?
Yeah, Decessus. Her name is Ignacia Fernandez.
There you go, Decius.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah,
all right.
Incredible.
I'm gonna give him a follow. That way I can, look into this, cause it looks as though they have a lot of singles and EPs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a lot of singles and EPs starting all the way back in 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be considered new metal. I'll have to take a look because you said Chilean.
Yeah, she's from Chile. Yeah. Just like the one of the in the Stars episode of Star Wars.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So, all right, yeah, I'll add that to the list.
Hell yeah.
See, listeners. Sometimes Matt can even say, "Hey Ben, maybe you should listen to this," kind of thing. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be just me being like, "Hey Matt, you're gonna listen to this and you're gonna love it," because I mean, Matt has, in the past, Matt has been like, "Wow, this was certainly an album to listen to." Mm-hmm. Remember Avenged Sevenfold?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we'll get some more info on that after we're done covering these episodes, which all right, gonna get this out of the way right now, and when we cover the specific episode that this little thing comes in, just gonna re-up it, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I totally forgot one of these episodes existed that we're gonna be recording and talking about. So here's the little disclaimer right here. We here at Action Toon Brothers have talked about many things. We've talked about, violence, drug abuse, a lot of other, like, even children murder and stuff like that, thanks to Spawn on that one. But I felt in this particular episode of Action Toon Brothers with Metalocalypse, there is a subject matter that will be brought up when the episode comes up that, Matt and I absolutely do not condone. We absolutely despise this kind of thing, and we just are here to review episodes, and certain characters are just like these are all fictional characters and everything, but this is an actual thing, and we do not like it. So when I get to the episode, we'll point that out what it is. Mm-hmm. So with that out of the way, and no, listeners, it's not. I think it's like the third episode we're going to cover
it's the second
in
last,
these 4 episodes.
Second last.
Yeah, it's the second last one. So you won't have to worry about it until we'll put a pin in it right now. But then when it gets to the time, I'll pull that pin out. So in the meantime, Matt.
Yeah.
You ready to get this? Are you ready to get this through? You ready to do this?
Oh yeah, of course.
Good. So let's start off with continuing on with season 3, episode 7. Dethsiduals. We start off with the news talking about how this is the biggest courtroom battle ever.
Yeah, the music trial of the century.
Dethklok versus. Yeah, there it is, yeah. Oh, Dethklok versus Dethklok, where Toki and Murderface are suing Squizgar, Pickles, and Nathan in the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. because Toki and Murderface are not getting, like, songwriters' residuals for, writing songs and stuff. And, of course, we see, on the stand, we see Murderface addressing everyone. He's like, we need to be treated fairly. We need to have everything split in a 5-way, especially with songwriting residuals. And Toki's like, what's M's residuals? And, Murderface is like, Toki, what the fuck, dude? Like, now you're asking this? It's money that we would get for writing songs. And Toki's like, I told you this was not going to work because we don't write the songs. Literally, in front of everyone, in court. Toki's, like, confused. He's like, why would we be doing this? We don't write the songs. We don't need the residuals. And, of course, Murderface is just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Also, why are you standing with the band? You're supposed to be on the other side of the table. And Charles is just like, okay, look, I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now.
First Nathan's just like, Your Honor, these guys are total dildos.
Yeah, right. He's just like, Nathan just calling him out, and everyone's kind of laughing. And Charles is like, okay, look, I'm just gonna nip this in the bud right now. Murderface and Toki receive 2% of the money that the band makes with the record sales, and part of the with their contract, with Crystal Mountain Records. And just so you know, 2% is still a lot because they are literally multi-billionaires. Mm-hmm. And of course, the judge is just like, case closed, trial dismissed. Sorry, he's like, bam, 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 and I forget, is this where it comes in, or is it the next
Murderface gives
scene?
to this guy like, this isn't fair, and then the intro hits. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because they're walking out, and even Nathan's like, picture time, fuck you, and like calls each of the reporters by names, and of course, Murderface, this is unfair. Then the intro hits, and then we get to in the whatever it is, the
Death
death
limo
van,
or
the death
Death
mobile,
limo or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, that whatever. We just see Toki and Murderface sitting across from everyone else, and Murderface is just like, hey,
Yeah, no
no
hard
hard
feelings,
feelings,
right?
right, guys? And they're like, and Nathan, Squizgar, and Pickles are like, dude, you tried to fucking sue us.
Yeah.
You guys should be going into a different vehicle. You guys should be like not with us right now because you literally tried to sue us. And Murderface is like, what do you mean? We're just going. We're going to the same place. It doesn't mean anything. So as this is happening, you know, Charles is like, hey, we have a call, it looks like, from Crystal Mountain Records, where we see Roy Nicholson is like, hey, I see you buried the hatchet and everything like that. So, here's a reminder of the demos. And Charles is like, okay, yeah, we've been going through some rough stuff right now. You think we can... and not even letting Charles finish, Roy's like, I need them by the 17th. Good night.
Yeah.
And hangs up.
Yep.
And of course...
And this is when the band talk about, they talk about having the right to do songs and all that kind of stuff, and they say it's going to interfere with their trip to France for a wine tasting. And then Murderface is just like, oh, I want to go.
Wait, wine tasting in France? Wait, why aren't we invited? And Iwatoki's like, why aren't we? It's like, dude, you guys are cheap. You always never want to pay. You guilt us into doing it, and you always make a ruckus out of these things. And as Murderface is still Murderface, not Toki, as Murderface is complaining about this, Nathan's just like, okay, that does it. Murderface, out. Yeah. And he actually gets kicked out of the limo, and everyone else drives away. Only Murderface. And then we get to see one of the very few times that Murderface sings.
Yeah, well, he's had a couple of Planet Piss songs in the past, but yeah, this is the first like.
Oh yeah. Tittyfish, right? I forgot about Tittyfish.
Tittyfish. But yeah, the song's about.
But he's singing about how things need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's mean. Everything needs to be easy and everything like that. Like you see him like in a beach area and stuff, just like just singing about all this stuff. You see him like drinking booze in like a beach chair. Mm-hmm.
You see him like shoving past a bunch of people talking about how
too hot. Yeah, talking to these two bikini ladies, like, why can't it be easy? I mean, we should just make it all happen this way. And then when you see in reality, he's sitting on a fucking like street with like two homeless guys.
And then we see the band practicing. Squizgar's just like, noodling some really cool stuff on the guitar, but then Nathan's like, yeah, okay, I'll write some nonsense and then we'll get this, we'll get this out in no time. And just then, this is when Murderface to the side is just like, hey, what we need to do is get in on this writing credit thing. So I heard that if you just, shout over everybody and you can just, contribute, then they have to give you a writing credit. And then as they continue to discuss what they're going to do, Murderface just keeps repeating everything Squizgar says, literally verbatim, and then Toki starts like joining in. And like it's just completely unhelpful. And just like, we know what you're trying to do. You're not going to get any writing credit, you idiot. And it's just like, okay, they call and say, or he like wants to write his own bass line, and it's like, you can't. You don't even know how to do that.
And he's like, no, I can't, just watch me. So, like, we see Squizgar and Murderface in the fucking practice room.
Yeah.
Squizgar's like, okay, show me what you got. And Murderface, trying to write his own bass line, dude. Like, wow. I knew he was bad. Like, I knew he sucked, but, like...
yeah, he's just playing very poorly.
Wow.
Unable to come up with that.
And, of course, he goes through, but all of a sudden, we see, like, olives and pita bread and, like, a whole... like spread of like delicious food and stuff gets put out, and Murderface is like, holy shit, that looks so fucking fucks up the rest of it and goes, fuck you, I'm gonna eat. And of course, like, Nubbler's like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna have an all-nighter on this one, probably gonna need some coffee and stuff, but I'll see what I can work with here. And you see like a montage of time going by, many cups of coffee later and everything like that. And all of a sudden, he's like, all right, here's what I got. And it's not pleasing to the ears, but it's still like a hell of a lot better than what Murderface did. And all the other band members are like, oh my god. And Nubbler's like, dude, I'm not a miracle worker. What the hell? Like, and they're like, okay, fine, let's just go and
Yeah,
eat.
Squizgar
Let's
says he'll
just go and
redo
get
it.
some food.
Squizgar says he'll go and redo the rift himself. And they said, but let's eat. And then they go and see literally Murderface ate all their food while being shitty and not practicing.
Well, and Toki.
Yeah.
And so they go on the plane to France, and they vent their frustrations about how they have to work overtime all the time, and these two are doing nothing and taking credit, kind of thing. And then they end up in Bordeaux, France, where Toki and Murderface, the multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
Of Dethklok, and they are complaining because the entrance fee is $150.
Yeah, they're still just like they knew they would. And then Pickle says, "You know what? Just quit this shit. But I don't feel like dealing with this. We'll just pay for you guys. Don't worry." And then he's just like, "Oh yeah, thanks Pickles." And then they run in. They immediately start getting drunk and destroying everything while the band's trying to participate in the wine tasting. Murderface and Pickles are just completely ruining the entire thing, and Nathan's just like apologizing to the waiter. It's just like, I'm so sorry, we had to deal with this shit.
Hey, he's like, your winery, your winery and your vineyard are very beautiful. I am so sorry for these yahoos. And yes, I did edit it because strong language.
Yeah.
But and then as Toki and Murderface are drunk, they just they like slap Nathan slaps them awake and goes, "Okay, guys, you're embarrassing us. You do nothing for this group. The three of us talked about it, and you're kicked out of Dethklok."
Yeah, kicking them out of the band. And then they're like, "What?" And they're surprised. But then Charles says, "Okay, we'll just put you guys on musical suspension for the time being. You're not going to completely kick you guys out of the band.
For a month, yeah.
The Murderface says, "Oh, I guess you want." I'm like a cool cop who's been kicked off the force. You want my badge and gun? He's just like, "Sure, but I will need your,
sure, whatever.
I will need your like band license and as well as your like does he have like a whip or
Yeah,
something
your
like that?
Dethklok. Well, it's like, I need you to turn in your instrument and your Dethklok badge."
Yeah.
And Murderface is like, I don't have that badge. He's like, "Well, you were given one like some time ago. We'll just worry about that later. And in the meantime, you're on musical suspension, and if you need to make some money on the side, I mean, we can find something for you." And Murderface is like, "Yeah, this is like a..." Wait, did you say money on the side? And we find out that instead of America's Got Talent, Toki and Murderface are judges on American Super Talent Havers, where we hear, and I swear, Matt, maybe you can agree with me on this, where we hear like a fucking bootlegged version of Papa Roach band up on stage, like doing some rap stuff with a fucking DJ, and with a rap metal band, quote unquote, or a rap rock band called Get Thee Hence. And as they're performing, Toki is loving it. The other two judges are like, meh, and Murderface is like, "That's it. That's how we'll do it. We'll get these guys to
Toki suggests
join
that
our
they
new
sign
record."
them on a label, and then Murderface is just like, "Oh yeah, if we had our own label, that's the idea." Yeah, and then we find out that the band's name is Get the Heads as Murderface talks to them about getting them on the recording.
Yep, and we find out that there's an official label, air quote, called Murder Tooth Records. And as they're like, "Hey, we want you guys to be on our record." And these guys, Get the Hence, are... Whew. Hey, Matt, you want to take it from here?
They said they are, very hip-hop talking, even though they're supposed to be a metal band. And they do say they immediately ask for an advance. And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Wait, are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, man, what kind of like shitty-ass label doesn't give people an advance when they start playing?" They're immediately start like bullying Murderface into giving them more money and like doing all kinds of stuff for them. Then we see the Murder Tooth execs, Toki and Murderface, driving them around and saying like, "Hey, okay, so we're gonna get you guys, get you in a hotel." He's like, "Oh, come on, man, you kind of like bum ass records doesn't put us up in a nice hotel." And they like continue to like bully Murderface into giving them more money. We come back to the rest of the band. As they meet this Get the Heads, and they're kind of like, "What the hell? Who the hell are these dildos?" And it's just like, "We're the new band, Get the Heads."
I love it. It's just like, yeah, this is Get the Hens, the first group from Murder Tooth Records. And Nathan's like, "And what are you?" "I'm the DJ, son."
Yeah, and then he's just like, wow, how
It's like,
original
and
you
you?
guys, like 2002 was like years ago or something like that.
Yeah, he's just like, and what about you? I'm a singer, rapper, and I'm just like, he's like, no, like, oh my god, please, what is this, like the early 2000s? Get these shitheads out of
Yeah.
here. And Murderface is like, they're just saying that, things are, and Nathan spells it out like, I'm saying I haven't heard a single note from you guys, and I already hate you. That is what I am saying. I'm just like, yeah, no, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
then of
Murderface is
course,
just like, you guys are just jealous. He's like, whatever, man, as long as you're not using your own money. And he's just like, no, yeah, of course not. Murderface is just completely, screwing himself.
oh my god, wait, you're not using your own money, are you?
He tries to house them in a really cheap place, but then they again, threaten him and shove him around, basically bully Murderface and saying that he's not a real producer. And so he lets them live in his room in the murder mansion or whatever, in Dethklok's place.
Yep.
They tell him to go get him some. They keep calling him like their butler or their waiter, and tell him to get him some more food as they continue to party with Toki. They're just completely like dismissing him. He's completely getting pushed around by this band. We come back to the rest of the group, and they have they're like, man, we've really got so much work done. We've written 47 songs without Toki and Murderface slowing us down. This is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's like, this is good. And of course, Nathan's like, yeah, this is actually really good. And even Squizgar is. And Pickles kind of seems skeptical, but he's like, yeah, this is actually kind of cool. Whereas we would see, with Get Thee Hence, they're like partying, getting coked up, heroined up, and everything like that, just drug abuse and everything like that. And all of a sudden, it's like, all right, we gotta get some recording done. Let's go. All of a sudden, they're just so fucking gone.
Yeah, they're strung out.
Drugged up.
Toki's like, yeah, they're on heroin. They're always on heroin. He's just like, are you serious? So
yeah, look, see, and then as all that's happening, in the hot tub, in the death tub, Nathan, Pickles, and Squizgar are sitting, and they're listening to the recordings.
Before that, we thought they Murderface and Toki said they have to write all the band's songs. And then they begin to write them, and they say, okay, so we're going to write other songs. And they're like, man, that was so exhausting. And then they look over, and they see, the band is eating all the food, just like Murderface had earlier in the episode. And then suddenly the band starts throwing up all over the floor, and they tell him to, clean it up. And this is when we come back to the band in the hot tub, chilling, listening to the songs they've written.
Yeah, listening to the albums that they recorded, and they're like, damn it, I knew this was going too well. Listen, and you hear okay, this is a weird thing to describe, but you hear Dethklok playing, but it sounds brighter. It sounds happier. And they're like, wait, it sounds like we're having fun. We're not. These sound so happy. We're like.
Did you get the song down?
We're like, well, oh, wow, fuck. What was the song called? Did you?
Killstrado Abominate.
Killstrado Abominate. That's what it was. Yeah, I thought I had it, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, Killstrada Abominate. It is just like, yeah, and they're like, wow, why do we sound so happy? We're not supposed to be super happy about this and stuff. And of course, it's like, yeah, we're missing some kind of some negativity. Yeah. We're missing a whole bunch of like dark and just and it's like, huh, and literally, just Nathan looks around and is like, hey. Do you mind if I delete these songs? No, delete all 47 of them. And he literally just dunks the laptop underneath because they're starting to realize that Toki and Murderface are actually essential. So we get to the table conference.
Oh, before that, Murderface is cleaning up the Get the Hence's vomit off the ground, and they're like, "Hey, Aaron boy, why don't you give us some more money?" And he's just like, yeah, "You guys have already used your advance. I can't give you any more money." And they say, "Whatever, we're just gonna steal stuff from around this room." And he just continues to suffer from the shitty band.
And literally, yeah, then we cut to the meeting, and of course, Offensen's like, "All right, it's been a month, so these guys have literally made 47 demos, deleted them, and have absolutely missed their deadline. And Murderface and Toki, they've literally written an album all by themselves. So the choice is yours. Do you still want them kicked out or not?" And Murderface is immediately just like, "Dude, please help me. I need out of this. I can't live like this anymore. Please, just do something for me. Please, help. I want back in the band, please." And Nathan's like, "All right, Murderface, you suck. You're horrible. You're an atrocity to mankind. but unfortunately, without you, we just sound too happy. So we're gonna need you back in the band. And Tokia's and whatever.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do. And then like it cuts to a fucking Dethklok concert where the opening band is Get Thee Hence, and of course Murderface is like, yeah, we get to like make money and stuff like that. And
yeah, before they were doing the contract, we forgot to mention that Toki was supposed to file their contracts way back earlier before they they wrote all the albums for them, and Toki's like, yeah, we're gonna do all that because we did the contracts, and then Get Thee Hence's lawyer pops up and explains to them like, yeah, you filed all the contracts in Swedish, you fucking idiot, so they're worthless. You guys aren't gonna get any money for this performance.
And of course, like they're pissed off. And then as Get Thee Hence starts, like it is the opener for Dethklok, everyone in the audience starts booing them down, and all the Dethklok fans go up and murder every single one of Get Thee Hence. As the entire band, even Murderface and Toki, are sitting here like, oh my, like distraught, like, oh my god.
Yeah, very.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode. Very funny, very silly episode. Now,
so
yeah, well, your go. Yeah, your question. What's up?
Yeah, but yeah, just like oh boy. Actually, you know what's so funny about all of this?
What?
I did not come up with any post episode stuff.
Real nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, fine. You know
I
what?
can say,
it's
hey,
not metal, but
I would say, how do you feel about rap rock and new metal style music?
Ugh. How about you, Matt?
Oh, I love it. I love Limp Bizkit.
Of course you would.
I love Papa Roach, fucking Roland, and fucking what's the Papa Roach one? Last Resort.
Korn.
The Last Resort, yeah.
Yeah, Last Resort. Yeah.
I love
Korn.
Yeah, Korn.
You like Korn?
Oh yeah, Korn's great.
I
love that early aughts wiggers doing metal. It's fun.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I used to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, but now I've gotten older and I realize that rap rock, rap metal, and stuff like that, it's not. It really isn't.
I would say that, like, growing up in the Oz, I, like, would hear it, and I was like, whatever, it's all right, and then, like, or growing up, like, college age, I was like, oh, that's just so corny and bad and terrible, but now I'm, like, where I'm going old man mode, where, like, anything from the early 2000s, I'm like, man, that was so good back then, I love that music, and, like, well, it was specifically the VR game Beat Saber, because I do have an Oculus Rift or Oculus 2 or whatever the hell. Beat Saber, if you play fucking Rollin' with the special arena based on the actual like music video, and you're like cutting all those goddamn cubes up and fucking Roland's blasting in your ears, it's incredible. I fucking love Limp Bizkit. Even though that's like the only song I know by them.
Of course you do.
But yeah, dude, you have next time you come over, you have to remember I have to hook up the Oculus, fucking play Roland in the fucking Beat Saber. You'll be fucking like, this is the best song ever made.
Bullshit. Dude, you're the guy who said that freaking whatever that one movie is. Freddy Got Fingered is the best movie ever.
That's a fact. That's cinema.
And no, it's not. Your opinion is noted, but it's not. It's not.
Well, what else are you talking about? Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, rap rock. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was good for its time. Like I said, I listened to it.
Much a product of itself.
Now, Matt.
Yeah.
Speaking of, America's Got Talent or America's Group of Talent Havers or whatever it is. Do you ever watch any of those shows or whatever?
Like when it first started, American Idol, I was aware of, but then like I've never sat down and watched an episode in my life of any of those music shows. I have no interest in that. I have very little interest in like live performance for the most part. Like I don't like stand-up comedy. I don't like going to concerts physically is really stressful and annoying and tiresome. And so like watching bad people sing on live TV is very obnoxious. And then when it's like, just a bunch of ballads and shit and just like a single singer singing on a thing, not with a band or anything, it's like, I don't like this genre of music. I don't like this setup of like this kind of weird, performance in front of a panel of judges and shit. I just was aware of some of the meme people, like whatever the bad singers that they like promoted just because it was funny and the shit back in the day. But yeah, I have no interest in those kind of shows. I really, really, I don't like any kind of reality TV. I literally do not watch any reality TV shows.
True. Neither do I, and also I happen to agree with you. I watched like an episode of like American Idol, hated everything about it. America's Got Talent is kind of the same for me.
Yeah.
I will say there was, I can't remember what the hell the show was.
Was it The Masked Singer
like,
or something?
No, hold on, no, because I would have remembered that one. But it was like, picture like, American Idol, only it was rock and metal people kind of thing.
I don't know what
I
that
forget
was
what the
called.
hell
That
it was
sounds good.
called. But I remembered liking that one, and especially one of the songs that I listened to, which you want to know how aged I am, people at home. There was a song by a group called the Cranberries called Zombie. You probably have heard of it before.
Yeah, of course.
But on that show, on that like whatever it is, there was just a lady sang a cover of that song, like a more heavy rock metal version. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, fucking hell, I might like metal, because I was young. I was young when this was a thing. I'm talking like maybe like 11, maybe 12 years old. Actually, I think it was more like I was more like 9 or 10. But like, it was awesome, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I think I might like this genre of music or something.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so other than that one episode of, I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I fucking hate reality TV, and I hate those kinds of things and everything like that.
Of course.
But now,
I was gonna say, before we move on, did you I was surprised you didn't see the Get the Hence members.
What about the Get the Hence members?
Do you know what band they're from? Because obviously they're from a band.
No. Did you get that info?
Yeah, they are actually all members of the band Mastodon.
Oh my god. I thought the lead singer sounded familiar because he's been on the show before.
Yeah, he's putting on an accent, but that's the main dude. Yeah, is from Mastodon, and then most of the band is from Mastodon, and then one of them is Ace Frehley, I believe.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, very funny. But yeah, Bran Daler, Brent Hines, and Troy Sanders of Mastodon.
That's fucking hilarious. That's I can't be mad at that. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that's very fucking funny.
Like, that's amazing. See, and it just goes to show you that you can be like, you can have fucking you can be versatile. You can be a metal person and just keep do shit like this.
Do shit like this, aka rap rock.
Yeah. Right. But see, he did it ironically. He didn't.
Yeah, they were doing
a
character in a show, very funnily.
Yeah. So, yeah. With that out of the way, this next one, I'm gonna be honest with you. This next episode, probably one of my most favorites in the entire show.
Yeah,
very
funny.
Season 3, episode 8.
Rehabklok.
So we start off in Zambezia,
Mozambique.
Mozambique.
Yeah, Mozambique.
Thank you. I can never say that, and I apologize for those of you who are, to all of our listeners from there. But yeah, just
Pickles is on a new experimental drum set. Some scientists are trying to explain to him how it works, and he's just like, "Oh, okay."
Yep, the hover drums.
Yep.
And by the way, Pickles is absolutely intoxicated, and it's just like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, we start listening, like, as that's going, they're like, okay, bye. And then as it all starts, we get to hear the beginning of Dethklok's another one of my favorite from, I want to say it's Death Album 3. We get to start hearing the beginning of Sky Hunter. and it's going well and everything, except for Pickles is fucking wasted,
Yeah.
like like the normal amount, like Pickles always is.
Yeah.
But as things are happening, there's a malfunction. I think like he gets one of his drumsticks shoved in the hover
Yeah,
drums,
he's like trying to figure out how to
and
operate it, and he can't. And then one of his drumsticks gets lodged in it, and he loses control, and he like starts zooming off. And we see Charles in the like main chamber trying to like, oh my god, somebody like send 2 drones out to go save him. The Clocketeers try to rescue him, and of course, in typical Dethklok fashion, both the Clocketeers trying to rescue Pickles both die, and Pickles is like,
right.
soaring through the sky out of this, like, away from the concert. He eventually crashes in an airport, and like all the like news and everything saying like he was totally loaded, he was wasted, and that's why it happened. And then then he's like, guys, I know like guys, I couldn't control it. Stupid thing was busted. He's like, no, like the band's like, no man, you're out of control with when you're drinking. And like while they're drinking, they're like, you need to go to rehab.
But even Charles is like, dude, we took a blood test. You have 100% alcohol in your system, and like just all of this, and everyone is gaslighting the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
But before the rehab thing, they did say that the government, with all the damages and everything, they are looking for a scapegoat, and that's why they threw him under the bus and need him to go to rehab. Which of course Pickles is upset, but we get the opening.
Yep, that's when he hit the intro. It cuts back to Pickles again complaining about having to go to rehab just when his brother calls him from Dethklok Australia's manager office and says, hey, you need to borrow $5 million. And hey, I heard you're wasted. You need to get control of yourself. And it's like Pickles continues to be pissed. And Nathan's just like, hey, man, you're still pissed at your brother. You need to be cool. You need to learn to be cool with him. He's like, oh, fuck that idiot. He's an asshole. They're all trying to borrow money and shit. And this is when they actually mentioned the scapegoat thing that the Mozambique government wants him to say, and he continues to say it was a malfunction in this weird ass drone, and they're just like, no, you're drunk.
Denial. Oh, absolute denial. Nathan holds up a book that says denial. It's like literally, it's the title of this book. And they're like,
they call him a lightweight, and they say like,
second...
you're lightweight. You can't drink. You can't handle the alcohol. You shouldn't be drinking so much.
Yeah, and then of course Avinson is just like, all right, decision's final. You need to start packing your bags and try to start living sober. And I'm gonna be real with you. If I could have a secondary title for this, it would be called Dethklok fucking gaslights their fucking band member, because
that's every episode pretty much.
There is constant gaslighting. This entire episode is just gaslighting, and of course there's like a song which is part of the Pickles rehab, like. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 songs on the like that are like supposed to be connected into one for Pickles' rehab, and he's singing about how pissed off he.
Oh, before that, they tell him he says like how am I supposed to live without booze, and he mentions like, oh, and you can eat an apple, or why don't you jerk off while choking, and then like Murderface and them start like talking about.
And opposite is like I would not recommend that. Actually, that is you have to cover that kind of story up. It's actually a really horrible way of dying, and everyone but Pickles is like, yeah, no, that's a great way of doing it. But by the way, I did actually dig deep on this one. The multi-part song that
I thought you were gonna say you would dig deep into autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh god, no! Oh fuck no, dude! What the hell?
It was ninjas.
Dude, don't be fucking gross.
It was ninjas that killed him. We'll get into the episodes at the end. We'll get to that bit at the end with the autoerotic thing. It's very weird.
Anyway, before Matt throws me off again, the multi-part song that revolves around Pickles is an unreleased song, which upsets me because it's a really good song, called Gotta Get Clean, because it's about Pickles getting angry because, the band's gonna replace him, he's gotta do this whole rehab thing, they're like throwing him under the bus, and then like he slowly starts realizing that he has to get clean as he's standing in front of, oh crap, did you get what it was called?
What the
rehab center's called?
Let's see.
Damn.
I wanted to write down. Yeah, it was something funny. I wanted to write down too. I can't believe I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about it. But as he's standing in front of the rehab center, we cut back to the band, and Charles is like, "Okay, look, I get it. Pickles isn't allowed back into the band until he goes through his rehab. So." In the meantime, we need to have someone replace him. So here, why not make it a drum? Why not make it this drum machine? Here, we have a video on this,
And face
and
bones.
we get a video with everyone's favorite face bones.
Hell yes, face bones.
And then how he introduces the X2P1158. It is like it's holy shit. This is the best thing ever. It's like it can do everything, any kind of like drum beat or anything like that.
They're gonna go to all they said they can do reggae fusion, Latin fusion, dildo fusion. It's like all kinds of dumbass.
Yeah, or dildo fusion. And like it's just like, just like talking about how it can do like 200 I forget what they're called in percussion. It's been too long. I'm out of practice. Like per second. Here, listen. And it literally just says
It's like brrrr, yeah.
yeah, and all of a sudden it's like warning, warning, warning. The X2P1158 is strapped with a 10,000 megaton self-detonation device, and in rare occasions can become sentient and can cause harm to humans. But if that happens, call the manufacturer. But that never happens. It's not our problem.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. I hope Pickles is okay with him being replaced by this. I mean, yeah, I hope he takes it well. Yeah, and Murderface is like, yeah, he's probably living it up like a king in Rehab. And then immediately we continue on with "Gotta Get Clean," where Pickles is singing about how torturous it is.
Yeah, I would say the other song parts, I guess, were "Don't Know What I'll Do Without You" and talking to and then the saddest day in the world.
Well, the first part was "Saddest Day of the World." Yeah, "Saddest Day in the World."
And the second one was "Don't Know What I'll Do Without You."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But now we're getting into the third part, which is going to be titled "Way to Be Saved," and we see like Pickles is doing everything he can to get out of it.
Yeah, we see him repeatedly try to escape, bursting into like destroying stuff in the rehab center, just completely freaking out, destroying everything, just trying to figure out how to escape. It's just
And this is when we get a fucking. Surprisingly enough, this is when we get the guest voice. The head doctor, the lead doctor, is singing about how you all have a problem. You're all narcissistic. You all need to tell us about your problem. Who is, by the way, Kirk Hammett, who is originally and actually has been since 1983, the lead guitarist of Metallica.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but prior to joining that, he also co-formed thrash metal band Exodus in '79 before, but either way, yeah, so this guy, they're singing about, like, why did you drink, and, like, actually breaking down Pickles and what his abuse and all this stuff was, and, as all this is happening, we find out that Pickles is pissed off at his brother because when he was 12 years old, his brother burnt down the garage and blamed him, and since then he's been treated like garbage, and that's when he started drinking.
Yeah, we see a montage of him drinking as a child as he was growing up.
Yep, throughout his life, yeah. And after all of this, the therapists are like, "You must forgive your brother," and Pickles just responds with like the most content. No way. Yeah. Like, we have this heartfelt moment. He's yelling and screaming into the heavens, and they sing like in a semi-angelic way, like, "You have to forgive your brother," and just no way.
Yeah. Then we go back to the band. It's like we have the best rehearsal practice ever with the drum machine.
Which, by the way, remember the last episode?
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what they're playing? Guess what they're playing right now with the X2P1158?
What? It's the same song?
I'll give you a hit. It's Killstardo on Bombinate.
Yeah, of course. It's so stupid.
Yeah. This is the second time it's happened, but like, they're like, "Wow, this guy's amazing. This guy's great. We love this new robot friend." And Alvinsen's like, "Hey guys, sorry to cut your excitement short. Let me reintroduce you to the freshly sober and rehabilitated Pickles." And Pickles is like wearing like like an ascot and like some kind of sweater. He's like, "Hi guys, it's great to be back in what the fuck is that?" And like and like we literally and like it's just like, "Oh yeah, hey, by the way, you've been replaced." And like casually, and like Pickles is like, "Okay, look, I haven't had a drink in so long. I'm gonna fucking murder you. You hear me, computer? I'm gonna." And every time Pickles like walks in the view of the X2P1158, it like says like threat, Pickles the drummer, threat. And he's like, I'm going to fucking hey guys, how y'all doing? And like, remember how I told you this is gaslighting the fucking episode? Well, the man's like, wow, the Pickles is just not just cool anymore.
Yeah, he's always judging us because we're drinking alcohol all the time. He thinks he's better than us, doesn't he? And he's like sitting there staring at their booze, really wanting a drink and like looking upset. And then they're like, yeah, look at him, he's just sitting there judging us for drinking still. What a jerk.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you go talk to Charles? Maybe you could just do that. And we're gonna drink with our pal who doesn't judge us. And when we cut to Pickles talking to Oppenson, and Oppenson is like, by the way, you have a 12-step program. You've only done 11 of them because you still need to do step 12, forgiveness. And Pickles is like, dude, no, I can't forgive him for everything. Are you drinking brandy right now? He's like, yeah. Probably not helping right now. And you just see in one frame, Charles is just talking, no bottle, no glass or anything, and Pickles is just like, dude, what the hell? And like in the next frame, you just see a bottle with Charles holding a glass of brandy. And he's just like, you have to forgive your brother. I mean, this concert in Australia. I mean, he does run Dethklok. Dethklok in Australia, so you need to forgive him, and when you do, then you can play the show. And this is when we cut to the next part of the fucking,
Pickles ballad.
fucking Get Clean, Pickles ballad, Danger, where you see that the X2P1158 is getting very, very jealous that Pickles might be, like, taking over, but they get to Australia as well, and the X2P1158 starts acting like, wow, worse than Pickles.
Yeah, he's drinking, partying, doing drugs, sleeping with groupies, and then they find him overdosed in a hotel. It's so stupid.
And it's funny because it's just like, wait a minute. No, sorry, that's what it was. Toki's like, oh no, the fame's got to him.
Yeah.
He's just like, vomit. And like the Dethklok members are like, I don't know, man. Meanwhile, Pickles meets with his brother. He's like, okay, look, I know you're not gonna go down easy on this, but I need you to accept my forgiveness for you burning down the garage and blaming me. And Seth is just like, what, you want me to accept this? I ain't going to unless you give me the $5 million I told you that I needed to borrow. And, he was just like, Pickles, like, you can see he's like, oh my god, I hate this.
He's pissed.
But he's only doing it because he knows that this is the only way to get his brother's forgiveness.
Yeah, so he folds and gives him the money.
yeah. So when the band hears that he's successful, they're like, wow, he actually did it. He actually beat Rehab, and now he can join the band. Which means that X2P1158 is out of the band. Because, I mean, I don't know. X2P1158 has just been, like, he's really being a downer.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's really ruining. Yeah, he's kind of being an asshole. Of course, the robot hears all this. And, when Pickles gets back, he's like, guys, I'm back. And where did everyone go? Why is no one here? You see the X2P1158 like rush in.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can't be in the band, no one will. I am going to destroy Dethklok. And you see like in a van with like a whole bunch of explosives around.
Yeah.
You just see the rest of the band tied up. Help! Okay, like seriously, it's kind of lame to be doing this, but help! And of course, Pickles is freaking out. He's like, oh my god, I can't get out of here. I need to save them. What am I going to? And he sees the fucking like big table of booze. And as he's like sitting here, he's like, oh my god. And like, what do I do? Devil Pickles comes out and he's like, dude, just drink. Get wasted. It's gonna be fine. Angel Pickles are like, no, don't. You gotta save the band. Yeah. Don't drink. And then Pickles comes up with the best medium ever. Fuck both. It. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna get drunk and save the band. So he fucking drinks, binges, and like you can see like he is like getting. Apparently he's getting a boost from this because he's able to kick down the door in a drunken super like, I'm back. And of course, Oppenson is like, Pickles. You're back, and like fills him in.
The band's been kidnapped by the robot. You need to find them. Yeah.
Drunkenly runs over to the hover, and he's like, "You've been drinking, haven't you?" He's like, "Damn straight I have. Now watch me as I save the band." He's like, "No, don't." As he hops on the hover drums and starts flying, and the Nathan's still like calling for help, and the fucking X2P1158 starts its fucking self-destruct sequence, and immediately like Pickles flies in and slams into him as they have like a fight. As they're having a fight, and all of a sudden the band's like, what the hell is going on, kind of thing. Thanks to the power of alcohol. And Pickles like beating the robot upside the head with a fucking bottle of booze. Yeah. He flies the hover drums over the moon, like over in front of the moon, and obviously gets off in time, and it explodes. Everyone is safe. The drums are destroyed. X2P1158 is destroyed. And of course, as we're closing everything, we get to hear Sky Hunter again. As everyone's just like sitting in the sauna, and just like Dethklok is like, hey, just want you to know that it's really great to have you back again. It's like, yeah, I just a really drunken Pickles is like, yeah, it's good to have me back to being normal and everything. Yeah, see, Pickles is all right. Pickles is great. And as the credits end, Murderface is just like, you see everyone has vomited from over drinking, and Murderface is like, Pickles, I'm glad you're back, but you just puked on my cock.
Yeah, and then the episode ends.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah.
Just, holy shit. Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
I know, well, I'm hoping that the sentence is correct. I know you haven't been to rehab.
No.
But have you known anyone to go to rehab?
I'm fortunate enough to not have known anybody personally who's needed to go to rehab for any kind of substance abuse, which is very good.
Matt.
Yeah?
Matt, I didn't say personally either. I'm talking like if you've like heard stories about anyone big or anything like that.
Yeah, of course. Like a lot of actors and musicians, and like anybody from the those old VH1 shows. Like what the hell was it? The reality show with Flavor Flav and Bret Michaels and them.
Oh, you're talking about like I know this show.
Yeah, any of those shows with all those old celebrities just on all kinds of substances. They like half of them were in rehab between seasons, or like in the middle of seasons they would always go to rehab. Like that's pretty much my like main
honestly, I thought you were gonna
for rehab is like those old celebrities on VH1 shows talking about having gone to rehab or being back in rehab again for the 20th time. Like I feel like that's the like reference.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna mention the big one. Amy Winehouse.
Yeah,
how she actually went to rehab, actually got out of rehab, and actually like improved her life. From what I'm to understand, I don't know if she ever went back.
Well, I mean, she still died of substance abuse, I believe. So she relapsed, unfortunately.
That's what it was. It was the unfortunate relapse, but like, but either way, yeah, just like neither. By the way, neither have I. I've never known anyone personally to go to rehab or anything like that. But like, but yeah, just like, oh wow, just but now, yeah, that was the only question I have. Do you have anything?
Well, I mean,
look.
Talk about,
you gotta understand. Yeah. You gotta understand. When it comes to like the post-episode stuff, I'm bad at this. How many episodes have we done of this? What episode are we recording right now?
Over a year now, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, well, no, I just mean like in general. You're the guy who usually comes up with the post-episode
Yeah,
questions.
you can see from how
I
the
don't.
movie garbage episodes get longer and longer, the more I do love doing research on shit. Yeah, no, I purposely would try to hold back on this one because I was letting you do some of this stuff. But yeah, the other thing would be, I guess, what the drum system, even though this episode came out in like probably way back in like 2010 or 11 or something like that. Do you think the episode aired?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that
2011.
Yeah, I would say it's funny that they are dealing with a robot. It would actually the October 10th, 2010. So 10-10-10, that's fun.
Oh, it was 2010. Okay.
10-10-10.
Nice.
That's cool. Oh no, yeah, Rehab episode October 10th, 2010. So I would say that dealing with the drum set, you can go to like AI shit, I guess, if you want to go into that subject matter for AI use and replacing artists and all that kinds of stuff. We talked about it. We talked about it a couple times in some other stuff. I think we talked about it a bunch in the Fantastic Dinosaurs of the Movies highlights of special effects classics. We talked about AI use. I personally never use it for anything, especially generative AI for like art or anything like that ever. Have you?
Not particularly. I really don't keep up. All I know is that the whole AI thing is kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's not good. It steals from artists. It's really shitty.
Yeah, right. And I know that in at the campus that I'm working at, they actually added a class that's like an introduction to AI and how it's good for you.
Yeah, like a lot.
I'm sitting here like, dude, bullshit.
Yeah, that sucks. It's like art theft and all that kinds of shit. It's really shitty. At least generative art AI.
Yeah, AI's just been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything about a lot of things about AI have just been like a wrench in a whole lot of different things.
Oh yeah. It's like whenever it pops up, it's a very controversial topic. Like there's like it's a very controversial one, especially in like our main media thing. We'd like to do gaming now. It's a huge fucking issue of people using it or not. But yeah, I haven't heard. I know that I obviously I'd love to tout, even though I haven't done it in like probably over a decade. I am a writer, and I do know that a lot of like novelists who have a high turnover rate now do use AI to write like their novels and stuff like that, like based off their old work or like their own ideas and shit like that, or they like expound on it or whatever. But I know that people have like gotten a shit ton of their books out by using generative AI, and it's like I couldn't fucking imagine. That's terrible. That's like so fucking lazy and shitty, and I could never imagine doing that. But yeah, it's very it's a very controversial thing. But yeah, I'm surprised you've not used it either. Yeah, because I have no reason to use it personally, and so
neither do I. Like I really don't have a reason to.
Art for artist's sake, as they say for the anti-AI people. So it's
right. Yeah, it's just I actually live with two artists. Mm-hmm. Well, people who do art, like not AI art. They do their own like drawing and everything like that. So, and I support them anytime I can, because seriously, the generative AI art and like AI, a lot of things, it's just no thank you, dude. Just no. Don't support AI. Support people, please.
Yeah, it's important.
So, with all that in mind, remember, listeners. Remember that time I said I was gonna, we were gonna put a pin on something and then we're gonna pull the pin out. Well, here's me pulling the pin out because, again, this episode, all the people in this episode, in this show, are absolutely fake. Obviously, not the fucking murder people, not the fucking overdose on drugs, and not to do a lot of things. Well, this one, I'm going to be honest with you. Story goes with this one. I forgot this episode existed.
Yeah.
And it centers around a character that Matt and I have both openly said that is a funny ass character.
Mhm.
Everything about like what this character is into in this episode, Matt and I are absolutely like, we do not condone, we are not accepting of like this kind of behavior kind of thing. And just fair warning, the subject matter, I mean, it's still done in the silly Metalocalypse way, but
I mean, you can always just frankly just say trigger warning that this deals with pedophilia.
Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot, that's how you do it this day.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second, Matt. Yeah. Once again, repeat that.
Oh, I said this episode, trigger warning, it deals with sexual interaction with a minor, pedophilia, obviously substance abuse. But then, like, yeah, this is a character Dr. Roxo does some horrible stuff, and we obviously need to address that because the character does stick around after this episode. I don't remember how much he pops up at all in season 4, but I know he is in the movies for a bit. And if we show future excitement or whatever for the character, obviously his character is very bad. He's, in the narrative of the series, been punished in the past for his horrible actions. He very rarely faces any actual repercussions for his horrible behavior. Obviously we don't condone anything he does. Everything he does is bad and wrong. But yeah, we're going to get into this episode. There's going to be jokes about the episode. We're going to discuss it. But it's important to get that, like,
there is,
out of
and
the
again, it is... And again, like Matt said, it's about Dr. Roxo, who, again, in the past we're all like, ha ha ha, it's Dr. Roxo, ha ha ha, and then I forgot this episode existed, and then I rewatched the this stuff, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I looked at Matt, and I'm like, hey, should we not really cover this episode because this is bad shit right here, but just so long as we gave you these warnings, let you guys know that we are absolutely not okay with this kind of behavior, and gave you this trigger warning kind of thing for this particular episode, which is, again, done in the silly fucking Metalocalypse kind of satirical bullshit way kind of thing. Well, now that we got all that out of the way, here comes Season 3, Episode 9. Dethzazz. We start off in Houston, Texas, 1981, with Zaz Blammy Mataz is due to perform a sold-out concert. We see a limo pull up, we see a foot come out, and we see a young Dr. Roxo, and all he yells is, "I do cocaine!" And of course, we see them performing. We see like a montage of Zaz blaming Mataz, walking in.
The song is
performing.
Atomic Clown. Then we get the rest of the band's names. We get Razzie, Dr. Roxo, Bink Bonk, and Snowball.
And we see them doing coke and everything like that. And as Dr. Roxo is performing and singing, he notices someone at his concert, a very attractive, very young girl. And as the concert ends, he gets caught at the Hump Motel with this very underage person, and you see headlines Dr. Roxo caught with underage girl, Zaz Blammy Mataz breaks up. And we cut to present day. Dr. Roxo is in prison and he's known as Leonard Roxy, of course, for the charge of cocaine.
Yeah, of course.
And we just see the guards hey, get out of here, Roxy, you got a visitor. And we get it, and we see Roxo in a fucking cell with a bigger black man behind him.
Yeah.
And as they're walked out, some of the inmates are like, "You suck, Dr. Roxo." And as he sits down, we see that the person who is visiting is none other than Toki Wartooth. Yep. And how he is, and he's like, "No, shut." Roxo's like, "You gotta get me out of here, man." And he's like, "Dude, no. No, you shuts up. You are a big disappointment. And he just pretty much berates him for being a dildo.
He acts like a dildo.
As Roxo is
he's like a turd in a hotel toilet. He's a son.
Yeah, and as Roxo's sitting here yeah, I get it. He's like, but then I realized I knows what you can do. We're gonna get Zaz Blammy Mataz back, and you need to be performing with them. And you just see a smile with fucking Roxo just smiling. Yeah, and then I don't know whether it's a good smile or a bad smile, but then we hit the intro.
This is when we see Toki making an announcement to the news saying that their group is reuniting once again. He says, who's going to pay for all this? And he's just like, and then, of course, Charles.
Yeah, and opposite is no, we don't have any. Like, wait, you mean, yeah, okay, we get it. Toki spent his part of the vacation funds. So, what about the rest of us, right? You should ask Toki. And Toki, like, it takes a while because the band is really fucking stupid. That, no, they're not going to go on vacation. It's not going to happen.
We're supposed to go
and
to
of course, Nathan's like,
we're supposed to go to Asia Disney. We're supposed to go to French Euro Disney. Like, what the hell? We're gonna hang out with our pal Mickey. How are we supposed to do this without this? And he's just like, no. And then of course they finally get pissed at him. Toki says, "Don't worry, guys. We'll make all the money's back in ticket sales." And then Nathan's just like, "How are you gonna do that when it's every single time?"
I love this. I love this part so much because he's like, "Yeah, how is this gonna happen?" And Squisgar's like, "What do you mean?" First time Zaz Blamabutaz tried to do a reunion. Dr. Roxo chugged a whole lot of LSD before the concert and spent the whole night spraying some lady with big tits with like a weird spray thingy. He didn't even sing in a single song. Canceled. Yeah. And then the night before second attempt, he tried to smuggle. Dr. Roxo tried to smuggle 20 condoms full of cocaine into his intestines. Then he ate some really spicy Mexican food, which caused the condoms to melt in his stomach and led him to an overdose. Canceled. And then the third time before the reunion, Dr. Roxo borrowed $20 million worth of cocaine from a drug cartel and refused to pay him back. So they were like, "Okay, fine, we're gonna shoot you." And he's like, okay, fine, shoot me. And then they shot him. Now he pees out of the side of his dick. Canceled. And everyone's looking at him like, what the fuck? He's like, well, at least that's what I heard.
Yeah. Toki says he believes in him. He's like, "I believe in Dr. Roxo. He's going to be able to make the performance." And then Murderface says, like, there's something, like Toki, there's something fucking wrong with you. What else do you keep believing in this dumb dildo? Toki walks away.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Toki walks away. Oh, it's funny because he's like, "Yeah, you need to get checked out. You need to go to a head doctor." Yeah. And Toki's like, well, literally, famous last words. "Well, mentally speaking, I'm as healthy as a horse." Not even a minute passes as he's walking away, and he starts getting into a trauma state where we find out that, he's absolutely terrified because of a specifically bicentennial quarter on the ground. And then we cut to a reoccurring character,
Yay, Dr.
Twinkledits.
Yay, Dr. Twinkledits is back.
Who's like, "Okay, I'm giving him some calm down juice, and apparently he has an unnatural fear of bicentennial quarters. Just these coins specifically." And Nathan's just like, "Okay, but like, you need to find out why Toki likes Dr. Roxo so much. Like, why? Why is it? For this, I'm going to need total concentration. I am going to try to rock talk into his past." Because, the way that he does his therapy sessions, if you remember from the very first time he was introduced, he does a rock talk.
Yeah, he does it all the time.
And so, and by the way, for those of you who forgot this guy even existed, yes, he did live the
I must say, is this his first appearance since the Wolves attack?
No, second one, because in season 2, they did the thing where they were reading notes to Dr. Roxo, and, he looks the same, he just has some, like, heavy eyeshadow and like, heavy eyeliner, and 2, like, really thin robot arms. So he's just like, so Dr. Twinkledits is like, "Okay, Toki, it's me, you remember who I am, right?" And, like, incoherently, it's like, "Yeah, I remember you, cool. Take me back to your childhood." And we see that Toki would do every bit of the chores. Like, he would carry the giant like comically oversized thing of rocks as a child, and he would have to organize them. He'd have to stack all the firewood symmetrically, and you see, like, they had so much wood that it built like a freaking house, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it was a tough time.
He also has the wheel of pain from Conan. The wheel of pain from Conan.
Yeah, right. He's just pushing it all by himself, and one of the giant freaking like things you push breaks. He has no control over that, but he would still get punished and be put in the punishment hole. And Toki's like, "But what they didn't know was, even though I spent a lot of times in the punishment hole, I always had a friend." And it would be like a little straw-made like clown doll. He'd be like, he's like, "Yay, Yay, I loves you, clown. And like in Roxo's voice, we hear, I love you, Toki.
Yeah.
And everyone is like, literally, after all of this is said, Nathan's reaction is just.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Then we cut to the news talking about how they don't believe the show will happen. Like every other Zaz Bumby Mataz reunion concert has been canceled, so what makes you think that this one's actually going to succeed? And then we see the band actually doing promotion for the show. They say we're going to do whatever we need to make the show happen because we're going to hang out with our pal Mickey.
Yeah, right. He's like, look. There's nothing more that I hate more in this world than that fucking clown. But there's nothing I won't do to hang out with Mickey Mouse. Which, by the way, first time in media that I've seen where they've actually explicitly got to say Disney and Mickey Mouse and not get in trouble for it.
In a non-Disney-owned property. Very, very, very surprising. It's very weird.
But then again, true to their word, Dethklok starts investing time and money to the concert's publicity, with flyers, big interviews for, a few big interviews for, like Roxo and the band and everything, and they pretty much sell out the entire, almost the entire,
venue?
Thing. Yeah, the venue. So before a really big interview, Toki's like a coach in boxing, rubbing Roxo's shoulders is like, all right, this has to be a very serious one, Dr. Roxo. Just, here we go. You're going to have to take this. You're going to have to, make this serious, do this interviews, and you got this. And, Roxo's like, I got this. And, literally, as the interviewer is just like, welcome back to, I forget what the interview is called. The interview is called. Now, Dr. Roxo immediately, first thing he does is shout, cocaine! And as a good interviewer, she, ignores that and just keeps going with it. And, she revisits all of the bad things, including the seduction of the minor known as Dory McLean, and how, calling this Dory, quote, Roxo's love of his life, and wrote a song about her and everything like that. And of course, unknowingly, Dory was at the time 14 years old, legally a minor, and he got in trouble for the law. And it's led to the Dr. Roxo starts
this led to the downfall of the band.
And literally, this interviewer is spelling this out in visceral detail, only not explaining what happened, kind of thing. Yeah. And Roxos is like, I can't do this. Oh, yeah, sorry. And after all this, the interviewer says, you gave up your life and all this, and now you sit before us, a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna cut to commercial break. Thanks, by the way, for all of this. And Roxo's just visibly shaken and leaves completely.
Yep. The news continues to talk about how they don't believe. Roxo is then talked to by Toki. He again freaks out and flees from the interview. This is when the news continues to say, this show's definitely probably not going to happen, everybody. It's probably going to be canceled like all the others were. And this is when we see the Dethklok freaking out, saying oh my god, you can't fuck this up. We can't ruin this. We're gonna lose our vacation, Toki. This is all your stupid fault. And then as I blame him, he flashes back again to the punishment pit.
Without the Roxo doll. And even Murderface is like, fuck it, I'm gonna scalp these tickets. Charles walks in as he says this, like, you're gonna scalp the tickets, huh? Not only is it illegal, but you'd be literally stealing from yourselves. And here, watch this video with Basebones. And it's just Basebones just talking about how scalping is illegal and everything like that. And you know what we say? Literally shows the Clocketeers literally scalping someone. Cut to
Murderface says that Murderface says, fuck that, I don't care. Scalping is awesome. And then Charles says that you guys also need to find Roxo before this fucking thing is canceled again.
Yeah, and then of course, Charles is talking about how he's concerned about Toki, and Nathan's like, look, I really don't care right now. We just need to find this clown. We need to get our vacation and everything like that. So elsewhere in the USA, we see a random crack house where Dr. Roxo walks in and sees a whole bunch of dead crackheads. He's like, he actually takes some of it. Like he starts taking it, and we get a trippy fucking scene, man.
Yeah. As he kind of just like going on a huge bender, freaking out and like weird things of hallucinations of himself and like all kinds of weird sexual stuff and all. It's just awful and weird. Fucking heroin or coke based fucking crack based delusions. The band
and then of course
is driving along with Dr. Twinklehead trying to find Roxo. And as they're
doing that, as they're flying in the helicopter, I love this scene so much because it's like, okay, guys, hey, wait, how are we gonna find him back and actually make him do the concert? And Twinklehead is like, well, you need the in order for in order for the concert to happen, you need the clown. In order to get the clown, you need to get the girl. And Pickles says exactly what any sane person, Matt and I included, are saying about this. Dude, we can't go around looking for 14-year-old girls. That's gonna be bad. And Twinklehead is like, that happened 20 years ago, right? She's grown.
She's not a kid.
You're not going to be looking for a 14-year-old. You're going to be looking for her, but she's older. And as they're flying away, Pickles is like, how is she not 14?
Yeah, like, wait, how is she not again? They're just complete idiots. I think this is when the Dr. Roxo crack house scene happens when he's like sees all those dead people in the building.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Because the first one was he snuck into a fucking semi and just ran off with it. You're right.
He says, I'm sorry,
now it's the crackhead scene
because to do all the drugs.
Yeah, it does all the drugs and everything Matt just said, and he gets literally shocked back to life by the Clocketeers. And
they find him and they tell him like they say like Toki. Toki needs you too, you idiot. We need you to do this concert, and Toki needs you to.
But before they do the Toki thing, Pickles is like, dude, we found her. We found Dory McLean. And she wants to meet you after the concert. But first, Toki needs you too. And then we see, like, Toki stuck in his punishment pit with a giant monster with, like, I forget whose head that was.
I believe it might be just the head of the Bicentennial Quarter is what I assumed it was. It didn't look like anybody familiar we've seen before.
It might be, yeah. And, like, with a spider body and everything. And all of a sudden, a fucking straw clown appears and destroys it. It is just like, Mr. Clown, you're back. Of course I am. I'm your best friend.
Yeah.
And we see him snap out of it, and we see Dr. Roxo's there. So, Zaz Blame and Mataz is going to start the concert.
Of the band like still not believing that the concert's going to happen, and Murderface they're trying to like scalp. They're just trying to like Murderface tries to scalp tickets, and he's like not getting any traction, and then he sees the Franklin Mint, and then the sequence to Toki and the Clown happens after that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then, Zaz Blame and Mataz
Toki performs a song. And as the song is going on,
he literally knew because the song he wrote was explicitly called "Dory McLean."
Oh God,
14. It's so terrible.
But anyway, with that, we just hear the band's like, hey, did we get our money? Did you sell all those tickets? And Murderface is like, I did. You wouldn't believe how many quarters. Every single one of them, bicentennial quarters, every single one of them. Toki flips out, runs like into something. Stage entirely burns.
Rube Goldberg's ruined into a giant fire. Yeah.
And canceled.
Yep.
But then of course in the aftermath, Twinklehead has like Toki in a wheelchair. He's like, by the way, don't be. Don't be hard on Toki. He's just heavily drugged right now. And, like, he is fucking high off his balls. Yeah. And, of course, Charles mentions that the insurance had, they had insurance that covered acts of God, which is a fire class. So, they'll make their money back in the end anyway. And Nathan's like, yeah, sorry this turned out. But, honestly, we care about our vacation more. And Pickles is like, alright, look, you might have forgotten, but we didn't. Roxo, meet Dory McLean. And all of a sudden you see an older Dory,
right?
Yeah,
regular 34-year-old woman.
And of course she's like, damn, you got oh, and she's like, well, yeah, things happen, I got married to a lawyer, and just everything's going like everything's going fine. Um, so it was glad to see you again. And then she calls out to her daughter, named Chastity, who's doing the exact same thing, and who is also a teenage daughter. And Roxo just does what
Yeah,
Roxo does.
jackpot, just being a horrible piece of shit. And that is when the episode ends.
Yeah, it just continues.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously this is definitely the worst thing Dr. Roxo's ever done. This whole episode is insane.
But you know what the craziest thing is? You know why I forgot this episode exists?
Because it's so bad and you want to forget it?
This is the only time... Well, that too. But this is the only time anything like this is mentioned. Any other time Roxo's on, it's nothing this bad. Anytime any of these episodes appear, it's nothing this bad.
Yeah.
Well, the next episode is... The next episode is, arguable, but trust me, it gets better at the end of that one. But I'm like...
No, I would say, like...
I forgot this
episode felt
existed.
like one of those bits where, like, a character who is a piece of shit... And, like, the audience likes them or whatever, but then eventually they have to be, like, remind the audience, like, yeah, you forgot this person is a fucking monster and a piece of shit, and you've been, like, liking them or cheering for them, but you forgot, like, in your liking and cheering, you forgot that they are the, like, absolute worst scumbag ever. Which normally I usually like in shows, because I usually like, people who are like shitty, like, no spoilers for the Penguin series based off the Batman movie. The Penguin HBO series, like, the whole show, you keep forgetting, like, oh yeah, he's a fucking nightmarish villain who, like, will do anything, and then, like, he kills good guy characters who you like over the course. Like, every once in a while, they'll do something horrible just to remind you. That, like, yeah, this person's bad. It's Dr. Roxo's bad. You shouldn't be idolizing him. He's crazy and terrible. He's on, like, he just does everything terrible, and he's a piece of shit scumbag. And I think, like, I honestly, in my head, I'm like, did the writers do that on purpose because of the popularity of Dr. Roxo, a character that was introduced during Murderface's birthday episode in season 1, to, like, be an annoying piece of shit? And everyone's just like, yeah, Dr. Roxo, he's great. And I'm sure, like, during the aughts and the tens, like, there's probably tons of Dr. Roxo merch and all kinds of other stuff like that, like, because people like the character, even though the writers probably never planned for him to be so popular. And so, like, let's do a fuck you episode, like, where they just make him the worst piece of shit in the world, just to really say fuck you.
Yeah, right. Like, just, oh my god, disgusting.
Yeah, terrible.
Just, oh my god.
And I was surprised when the Wiki thing only said that the episode was only banned on the British streaming platform All 4. Which I'm very curious, like, when the show was on, like, HBO Max, HBO Go, and stuff like that, like, they never banned it anywhere else. And I'm curious, is that people just didn't know, or, like, nobody just, like, noticed about this episode, or, like, I'm curious how it got away so long. Or they just, think, like, yeah, this show's all about bad people doing bad shit, so it's fine.
Oh, my God. Like, oh, my gosh. Like, I watched this episode earlier today before recording, so I can get this fresh in my... And... wow, my stomach dropped, and I'm just like, oh no, oh. Like, again, guys, I was like, wow, the content in this video, I can't believe I'm gonna ask Matt this. I'm like, should we, like, just give, like, the briefest thing? Like, because my plan was originally, like, if we dropped the episode, just like, guys, this is bad, this is a bad episode. If you're interested, if you're curious about it, watch it yourself. Just, like... please, I about did not want to do this episode because of just how in depth they got with this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, and when you
said,
think like there's any possible, like, maybe he didn't do anything. It's like, no, he did. And it's like, maybe he didn't know, and it's like, no, he wrote a song about it. It's like every time you, like, think it couldn't get worse.
Like everything was waiting.
Every time in your head, you just kind of, like, mental gymnastics to be like, it's not as bad as it could be. It's like, no, it is as bad as you think. In fact, it's going to be worse. It's just like, it's crazy.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Just
crazy ass episode.
Wow. Just, yeah. And I think this is the craziest it gets.
I mean, we'll see. Hopefully. I can't imagine it gets any dumber.
Hopefully, yeah. But, like, oh my god. Like, everyone who's listening, please tell me I don't have to tell you how wrong something like that is.
I mean, I would hope our listeners are not that stupid. Yeah, it's a horrible, disgusting thing that he did, because he's a horrible, disgusting person.
Just in the in the event that like in the event that there's someone who's like young and just stumbles upon our episodes, because that's gonna happen. Some kid who's like shouldn't be listening to our podcast is gonna stumble upon this and be like, "Oh, this show sounds what." Don't be as gross as Dr. Roxo. Don't be a Dr. Roxo.
He's a horrible piece of shit.
Don't be Dr. Roxo. Yeah, and the only reason why, like, you know, Matt and I were like, haha, Dr. Roxo in the past, for me...
Yeah, legit didn't remember this episode.
I literally forgot until today. We just forgot this episode existed. It's just like, oh...
Anyway, as of this airing, I'd like literally shouted out Roxo in the Christmas episode that we just aired. As of this recording, like last week, the Christmas episode went up, and I did like shout out Dr. Roxo being in that episode because he's in that episode. So it's just like,
yeah, just oh wow, whew. I need to get the bad taste out of my mouth. So let's wrap up.
Oh yeah, let's go to something non-controversial.
Yeah, let's go to something else that's, you know, absolutely non-controversial. And by the way, yeah, we're funding you. This next one is a highly controversial one too. With the season finale episode, season 3, episode 10. Doublebookedklok. So we start off with Dethklok in Edmonton, Canada. Yep. And it is on the death bus, and it is like snowing, it's cold, it's Canada. And they're like, hey, you know, they're getting angry because Offensen left them with all these fruits and vegetables and, you know, nothing delicious. But it was because Murderface took a deal with rock and roll diet. And so Murderface needs to start eating this healthy shit to start losing weight. And of course, you know, as they're like rolling up, bus makes a stop at a gas station. Also, there's like randomly
pouring on the background while they're sitting around driving around on the bus.
Right, and like, you know, the bus makes a stop at a gas station for unknown reasons.
That Murderface says like, he's already in shape. He doesn't need to get in. He just need to eat healthy. And Toki's already beginning to punch everybody randomly.
Yeah, that's right. And as the bus makes a stop, you know, they're like, all right, fine, we're going to make the refund. We're going to go out in this cold. We need to go in there. Like, maybe we have to take a piss or, like, get actual food and stuff like that. And fucking Squiscar's like, okay, but let me get our jacket. And Toki's like, fuck that. No, no, that makes you weak if you have it, and punches Murderface's arm. So they all just go on their own devices. They go over to the gas station. They, like, you know, take a piss, take a shit, eat food and shit like that. And all of a sudden, as they're walking back to the bus leaves.
Yep, leaves without them.
And they're like, oh, what's going on? Why did you do this? Why do you leave? And it's like, all right. We need to go out. We need to go to the forest. There's got to be a shortcut. Yeah. So as they're going, you know, and like, hey, maybe we should call Charles. No, we left the death phones on the death bus. And so, like, Offensen is sitting here, like, just in his, like, little throne chair thingy with all the clocketeers working. Thing. He's just like, something seems off. Have the bus driver do a head count on the boys, sir. The bus driver bus driver just got back. They are not on the bus. What? And he like starts calling, getting a team, getting helicopters. We gotta find them.
And then we see the bandits freezing in the forest as they sit, and I'm like, oh man, we gotta.
And they're like, man, this is the worst way ever. Having to huddle together for body heat, and literally like Murderface weirdly, like, sensually, like, whispers in Pickle's ear that they need to keep warm. They need to conserve their body heat. For warmth. And Pickles is like, dude, just don't get a boner while talking. It's like, you don't get a boner while thinking of me. And then
y'all start blaming Charles. They're like, yeah, it's all Charles' fault. Yeah, he knows that we shouldn't be left out here. Why would he leave us like this? And then, of course, Charles arrives in a helicopter to save them. And that is when we hit the intro.
Yep. And then after that, we see them all like getting warmed up, sitting like in the helicopter, and Charles is like, "Why didn't you tell the bus driver you were leaving? You need to tell your bus driver
He's just
that
like,
you
all
have
you
to
have to do
go
is
and
stay
do
on
some
the bus.
things.
Yeah, stay on the bus or let him know. And he's like, well, we expect to just like do that all the time. And he says, also, you guys were outside for 15 minutes. And he says,
Yeah, you were outside. Why didn't you? If anything, why didn't you just stay in the gas station where it was warm?
and they're like, well, we didn't think of
And
that.
he's like, well, maybe we didn't know to do that because you weren't here. I mean, yeah, you were so busy and everything. And Toki keeps punching things, um, it's like, well, okay, I know we've messed up, but at least we're still gonna pal around this weekend, right? And Charles is like, nope, sorry, too busy, gotta go do things. And so, as he's doing that, he has like this assistant
like
guy, which is like a clocketeer in like a hood with like a business suit, and he gets thrown out and like
the band's
dies.
pissed off, like, well, you're not hanging out with us, and then he gets killed by the band and like falls in like a random tree.
Yeah, right. And Charles Hopkinson says, and I quote, yeah, I got a lot of things to plan, with the Israeli concert coming up. So apparently there's going to be a concert in Israel.
Yeah, and they say, okay, we're going to go hang out with our friend in Syria. They talk about how they're sick, like, oh man, we're getting sick of hanging out with sick of each other. Like, we need to start hanging out with our other friend. Yeah, we'll hang out with our friend Abdul Malik. He's pretty cool. And then, as they're like planning on hanging out with this dude, Charles gets a new assistant. He's explaining to him how dangerous the job is, and we get like a quick little montage of all the
I love it. What? Oh no! It's not even. Well, before that, it's just like, hi, sir. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You've been properly brainwashed. You forgot your name, given a new designation, and your life is going to be constantly on the line. All right, good. So, and he like goes through different things, like how sales are going and everything like that. And he's like, all right, now pay attention to this. This is going to be one of the most important business calls you're ever going to witness in your life, and it's I forget what the guy's name is, but it's for some kind of death snow cones.
It's a snow cone company, yeah. They're going to make the new collab called Death Cones.
Yep, and then of course it's like they got like some kind of chocolate sauce and horns on them and everything, and the guy's like, yeah, here's our new merchandise, here's the death codes, we made it to your specifications. And literally after not even hearing any description, Charles is like, okay, good, I'm gonna buy 70 million units. Wait, really? Goodbye now. Hangs up. And it's like, he like finishes up with everyone else, and the assistant's just like, did you just buy 70 million? Yep. That's what you get. Meanwhile, in Damascus, Syria, you see Dethklok is landing, and they're still pretty pissed off that Charles isn't gonna join them because this is supposed to be their time to pal around, and so you see they're hanging out with I'm gonna assume like the Prince of Syria of like a Syrian prince, and they're like,
he's like, yeah, oh, you guys are crazy.
Which, by the way,
you guys, and he's like, yeah, he's like, hey, why don't you guys do a concert with us?
Hey, but here's the thing. Do you know who voices the Syrian prince?
No, I didn't look it up, but I assume it's somebody because he had a couple lines.
You ready? You ready for this? Good old Dave Grohl.
Oh, nice.
From fucking Foo Fighters.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
But yeah, after all of this goes on, and he's like, yeah, you should do a concert, and Nathan's like, yeah, we should do a concert, and Pickles is like, dude, are you sure that's a good idea? That's usually Charles's thing, and literally he's just like, Nathan's like, and as he's like, Charles is like in the back of his head, he remembers, yeah, we have a concert in Israel. Israel concert. I gotta take care of the Israel concert. Them sitting in Syria. Yeah, let's book the Syria concert.
Yeah, let's do that.
And
Charles,
of course, as
with
with the assistant, he's like, all right, so this is what you need to know, about being the OFC, the OFC,
CFO?
Or is it the
CFO,
thank
yeah.
you. I sorry, a little dyslexia. The CFO. No one's gonna remember your birthday. They're gonna dehumanize you, and they're not gonna treat you with any respect. But you're gonna realize that this is the most important job of your entire fucking life. Your life is constantly gonna be on the line, but it'll all be worth it. everything will be worth it. He says kind of ominously. All of a sudden, a different Clocketeer is like, my lord, you have a call from the United Nations. And Charles is like, wait a minute. It's bad to get a call from the United Nations usually. Alright, let's see what's going on. All of a sudden you see the band sitting in the fucking hot tub watching Murderface's rock and roll diet commercial. And as all this is happening, the TV just suddenly turns off. And they're like, wait, what happened? You just see Charles. I love this scene so much. And I'll explain why this is amazing afterwards. But it's just like, Charles walks up, looking very, very pissed off. He turns around and calmly is like, did you book a gig in Syria without telling me? And all the band is like, and even Murderface is like, why are you yelling at us?
Yeah.
Even though he's not
So
yelling.
stupid.
And of course, Charles is like, you do realize that you double booked. Not only did you double book, but you double booked against Israel and Syria, who are bitter enemies.
Yeah, and even the news covers that. Yeah,
I have to
covers
make
this whole
sure.
situation.
I have to make sure that this doesn't blow up. Seeing if we can stop World War III from happening, and he leaves. Totally not controversial in any way, shape, or form. This episode.
And then we see another montage of the all the horrible things that have befallen the Clocketeers and the world surrounding the band so far, like all the horrible shit that they've done, and all the deaths that they've caused, and all the trouble that they're known for. As the news is covering that the bitter enemies double booking thing that they did.
And as the band is sitting, like after they do a montage, like as the band is sitting around getting some kind of body scan or some shit,
But the news is like in lighter days, let's make fun of let's make fun of Murderface's beach body as they make fun of his being overweight still.
Yep, worst beach body of the decade. And of course, they're getting that's what it is. It's their body scan checkups, and they're arguing how Charles is always busy, and then again they might have fucked things up, and just everything's just going to shit. Maybe they can do something. And then Toki keeps punching everyone.
Mm-hmm. And they finally ask, let's keep punching everybody.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as just everything's
another
going
montage
wrong.
of them being dicks again. It's a lot of quick little montages in this episode. It's finally cuts to Charles at the UN,
right.
Getting the call.
Yep, at the UN, trying to make sure nothing goes back.
Yep.
But then, as he's trying to have a serious conversation with the UN, he also he gets a call from Dethklok. Not now. I'm trying to negotiate here. They say it's very important. And it's just them complaining Toki's hitting us, kind of thing, in front of the entire UN.
And it's just he
and then of course,
us. And also Murphy's the news called me fat, just being the idiots.
And then unfortunately, it's like I said, it's loud enough for everyone to hear. Yeah. And the Israeli and Syrian leaders who were on some kind of were online, they clocked out pretty much. Meanwhile, as this is happening,
they also say we're watching you right now. Tell Toki to quit punching everybody. He's I'm busy. We're watching you right now. You're not doing anything. Talk to him. Yeah, talk to him. And then he hangs up.
Yeah, he's done. But meanwhile, we finally get to see, after so long, the tribunal. Only in this case, it's just Mr. Silesia, Vater Orlog, General Crozier, and the senator, just in a tiny room. And of course, the senator's they double booked a concert with the two leading enemies, and tensions are very high, and and they're this could be devastating.
Yeah, but they do.
And the senator's yes, but here's the problem. In the center of all of this is Charles Offensend, who died. At least he publicly he was claimed to be dead, and now with him being alive after 9 months, when Dethklok was almost about to sign their lives away, he came back, and then they also mentioned something about the mysterious Falconback project.
Yep, and they
and
say
of
that
course,
he was missing for 9 months, and they don't know where he was. And we also see Salacia, like when he confronted him at the end of last season, trying to like sense what was going on with Charles as well.
Yeah, and even like during this meeting, like in like fucking headspace or like in some kind of like mind kind of telekinesis type thing, telepathy I should say, not telekinesis. Salacia is like, he saw my true form and lived. He probably knows too much. And Orlog is just like, no, that can't be. That no one would know. And of course, Crozier's like, how would he know? Nobody would have known this except for the people in this room. And then, you know, Mr. Salacia is like, this is true. However, no one would suspect a dead man. And they keep repeating the phrase, the dead man. Which, funny enough, that is what the title of Season 3 is The Dead Man. Which, I don't know. Will this come to fruition? Will it ever be explained? Well, let's worry about that later. Right now, cutting back to Offensend, who's still trying to, like, he's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. These snow cones are probably going to save our asses. So we're probably going to have to wait, no, actually before that, you see Offensend in front of all the Clocketeers, and he's just like, as you may know, right now, we have a double booking to deal with. With Syria and Israel, and everything hinges on this double booked concert. We need to find a way to make this all like not become an international event. That's the bread and butter they're fucking with.
He mentions, the death cones and merch with face bones is what they're going to be selling the most.
Yeah, they're going to have to do like a double stand, like they're going to have to make something go so that make something happen so that everyone buys merch and the death cones. And here's a video with face bones explaining everything, and we see the face bones video is getting messed up because Nathan's trying to help, air quote, and even Murderface is eating something and
it's
it
like
gets
a sundae. He spilled a sundae
stuck in some wires.
Like a sundae on the
spills a sundae and a bunch of wirings. And for the first time ever, Charles yells at them. Is like, all of this is your fault. You're not helping. Get out.
Yeah.
And the band is actually deeply hurt. And they're like, and Nathan's like, all right, so we finally did it. Our manager really fucking hates us. And Murderface, you being fat, well, that was the final nail in the coffin. We're gonna have to do something we've never done drastic before. And then we see Charles sitting in his chair. Something isn't right. Someone do a head count on the boys. Sir, they're not here. They're not here. They're not in Mordhouse. They're not. Sire, we got this message from one of them, and all it says is, "We're running away."
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, get it. All right, make sure you're doing this. Do this. I'm gonna find them on my own. And so we find as there's a montage of Charles going everywhere trying to find these guys, and they're running away. Trying to live off the woods and failing miserably, even trying to chase a goat and everything like that.
Food. They eat berries and they're shitting their brains out. They're sick. They're just complete idiots.
Yeah, and then after the montage, we see that Charles finally finds them
on a rooftop,
on a boat in well, no, they're on a boat rooftop, yeah. Actually. Yeah, they're on a boat traveling, I forget where, but it's really fucking cold again. And Charles comes in and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry that I've been busy this entire time. I'm really I know that things have been difficult with all the planning for this particular concert. And Toki, you don't have to punch anyone you don't have to hit anyone for attention. They all think you're great and really cool. I think you're really cool." And then Toki hugs him, and first time he's ever gotten hugged, and Charles is just the kind of, I don't like touching, but pat, they're there. But guys, listen, there's something really big happening right now, but I can't do it alone. I need you guys to help me with this. And we get to hear
the concert's going
the
to
starts
save
of
lives.
yeah, this concert, if we do this right, is going to save many lives. So we hear the music starting. We see this big fucking setup right on the border of Syria and Israel, and they got this light show and everything starting, but there's a malfunction because of the fucking Sunday that Murderface had.
Earlier.
And of course there's some hellish things going on. Soldiers have guns pointed at a child.
Yeah, they're literally trying to
it's getting bad.
Yeah, it's escalating as the
it's getting bad. But fortunately, Charles was able to fix whatever it was, and everything starts going well. And you find out that the little girl has a Dethklok t-shirt. You see that the soldier pointing the gun moves his gun wearing a Dethklok t-shirt. And
we also see that the lasers
as the concert
light up a gigantic pentagram across both these countries.
Yep. And as all of this is happening, the Dethklok performs the song called The Galaxy. And Matt, the introduction that Nathan gives, what was that in?
Oh, the language? I think it was doing it in both languages.
Yeah, it was like holy shit.
It was like showing in both different. I think both separate languages it was showing in.
Yeah, and then of course they sing their song and everyone's like enjoying the concert, and that's when Offenstein is just like, all right, turn up the heat. Let's sell some death cones, and these lasers that make the laser show also intensify heat, so all of them are hot. And what happens? They want snow cones, so they start buying the snow cones. And as all things happen, in usual Dethklok, happenstance, one of the heat rays kind of malfunctions or something, and it starts burning up the places on Earth, kind of thing. The ice caps, which is like an increase, like a 20% increase of water level and stuff like that, and like some forest burn and everything. But, however, the concert's an enormous success.
Yeah, this is the beginning.
And after
it keeps going over and over again.
Well, yeah, because that's actually part of the lyrics to The Galaxy. But after the credits, because yes, it's the season finale, we get an after credit scene. We see Offenstein walking down like that spooky hallway in the fan episode with in season 1. We see him go down an elevator, and we see him walk into a room, right? Yep. And inside that room, we see hooked up to a bunch of computers, Edgar Yomfru
brothers.
And it's clear, but however, the look on his face shows that he's not there against his will. And with the wires connected to a computer system, we see, and all over his body, we see pictures showing the Falconback Project.
Yeah. And
that is where season 3 ends.
Yeah. Crazy season finale.
Wow.
So, do you want to get into
it really was
Israel-Syria conflict?
Okay, look, I think it's safe to say that we all know that it's actually really bad.
Of course. Continues to be bad.
I mean,
now 15 years after that, it was bad before, 15 years before this 2010 episode.
Yes, it was 15 years ago, but even then, even now, it is a very bad situation over there. So obviously this episode was very heavy on the whole no World War at the time no World War III destruction of things going on type thing. And so yeah, it got dicey, and Dethklok nearly fucked it up, but somehow they made it work. And we forgot to mention, on the TV screens in this fictional world, for those of you who want to think that this actually can help things out, no, it doesn't. It actually said that they found peace between each other. So, obviously, as you can tell, This is absolutely fictional, and the situation over there is still absolutely bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do not, under any circumstances, think that metal can save the world. Well, as much as I would love to believe that, that's not the case, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying go over your favorite fictional solving of the Middle East differences. Well, there was the I don't know if it was Injustice where Superman like fucking forced them to come to peace, which is very fun. A very fucked up thing for him to do. But then also, have you seen the new Superman movie, the new one?
No.
Okay, it has a very fucking strong and wonderful political stance that it takes. Big recommendation, unlike the very tone-deaf, inappropriate one that was happening in Injustice with that Superman. But like the 2025 James Gunn Superman has a very, very direct, analogous thing for the situation over there right now, and it's a very interesting take on what's going on, and it's very fantastic. Movie's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as we've stated before, just like with South Park, just like with Family Guy, this is all satirical. This is not meant to be serious. They managed to pull it off in a silly way, while also addressing just how bad a situation it would have been if this actually happened.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Now, in the fictional world of in the fictional world of Metalocalypse, everything turned out all right and they made peace. In the real world, they are still not at peace.
Yeah.
They are still absolutely not at peace. Whew! This was quite the season finale of Metalocalypse, and not only are there 12 more episodes of this series, because next season is the last season, and we also have to cover the pseudo hour-long special and the movie. But, boy howdy. This got intense, but fortunately, in the fictional world of Metalocalypse, the world was saved thanks to Dethklok.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to Charles Oppenstein.
Yeah, but as well as them like destroying the world more with their crazy laser show, causing the world to flood as well. That's typical of the curse of Dethklok, as they say.
Yeah, just how crazy. Now, Matt. So, now that we've covered all of these episodes, I have a question for you. Now that we have a moment to do our post episode discussions, so what did you think about Deceivers?
The Deceivers album, I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought that it did like a lot of the songs did sound particularly like samey for me. The one that stood out the most, like I said, I love the speed of the drums in all of the songs. And the only time I could tell that the female vocalist was like singing in a non-super gravelly metal voice was the one part in Handshake with Hell, the first song on the album. And then the second to last song, One Last Time. She kind of, I don't know if it's her or somebody else singing. I don't know. Did they have a secondary singer on One Last Time, the second to last song?
No.
Yeah.
It was all her.
Yeah, for like a second, she did less gravelly metal voice for a moment there. That's the only time I could actually tell it was a female vocalist. But she was an incredible singer. The one song that I did like, the one that stood out the most to me was Spreading Black Wings. That was one that I liked the most. That's one that I took the most.
Okay, Spreading Black Wings is a very good one. Yeah. And honestly, I will say, though, my all-time favorite, because it has been a while since an album has done this for me, right? But my favorite song in Deceivers is Handshake with Hell, because holy shit, for an album to be like, hey, welcome to the Deceivers album, here's how we're starting off, and it started off really strong.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, but let's see. Spreading Black Wings is definitely a good one. To me though, I don't know what you think, but I kind of did like Sunset Over the Empire.
That was a good, It was all right. I was one of my favorites, but it was a good song.
No, that's fine. Yeah, and that's why we talk about these things. So Yeah, but that's good. I mean, another great album. Well, in my opinion, great
Yeah,
album.
very enjoyable.
Another good one for Matt to listen to. Very enjoyable. So, Matt, um, before I get into your next album assignment, and uh, among other things we'll describe later, I don't have a single plug. However, I know you have plenty of plugs to go
Of course,
around.
of course.
So let's go with your
All
plugs.
right, Matthew List Podcast over on Blue Sky. Matthew List Podcast, obviously on YouTube. Matthew List Podcasts on Twitch. Matthew List Podcast on Patreon. Make sure you watch old episodes of Action Toon Bros. I have a couple more playlists of the collective series if you just want to listen to something straightforward. With the release of that new Avatar fighting game, fucking check out the Korra episodes of remember how awesome Korra is. Also with the Avatar MTG game that's going on with Magic the Gathering, fucking great set, some great fucking cards and covering a great series. Some of the little shorts I did. And then, of course, listen to old episodes of Movie Garbage. As of this recording, we should have another super long, insanely long-ass episode up. One of a couple different movies that we did. Definitely check those out. And, of course, buy the book, Forgotten Minotaur King. Sales are always important with that shit because, you know, you just constantly need to make money in this horrible economy. Yeah, check out all that stuff. Other projects always nebulously in the mix. But in the meantime, those are the main plugs for now.
Excellent. So, Matt, now that we've got all of that out of the way, with all the plugs and everything, so, your next album that I'm going to make you listen to. I say I'm going to make him listen to. He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to.
I get to listen to.
But yeah, but that I would recommend to you that you listen to. I'm going to go with the second album. Not the first album, the second album. The 2006 album from, okay, so have you ever heard of this band called Gwar?
No. I may have contracted bird flu at a concert being covered in various bodily fluids, yes.
Well, cool. It's not going to be Gwar. It is, however, going to be Lordi. Lordi. And the album I'm going to have you listen to on Spotify is their Get Heavy album.
Okay.
It says, it'll say the bonus track version, but yeah, Get Heavy by Lordi. That's going to be the next one I'm going to have you listen to.
Yeah.
But now, for an important conversation to have, since we're, here doing this talking. So, this was the season finale. So, usually about this time, we do either we do a special to break up the monotony, or we just hoof it through, we just keep going, kind of thing. For me, I've decided that I think it's about time we take a break from Metalocalypse, and we do what we should have done so very long ago. I'm gonna say we already did our seasonal special with Visions Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're still really far behind, and frankly, I've already watched Season 3, and I think we should just actually watch Season 3 of Star Wars Visions.
All right.
So, after our next episode, which is going to be Fillmore, whatever episode we're on that. But yeah, we're going to take a break from Metalocalypse, kind of cool off a little bit, because let's be honest, season 4, the hour special and the movie, that's all we have left, and that is which has given me plenty of time to think about what we're gonna do after Metalocalypse, which, spoilers, it's not gonna be a dark, depressing, and brooding one. Normally, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a kid-friendly one too, mind you. But in the meantime, yeah. So instead of we're gonna take a break from Metalocalypse to do season 3, aka the most recent season of Star Wars Visions. But our next episode should be
Fillmore season 2
that we're
4
probably
through
gonna.
6.
It's
Yeah.
Fillmore 4 through 6.
Yep.
You said. All right. So anyway, wow, like this was an intense bit of
Oh
episodes.
yeah, very controversial.
Incredibly, and I still have a bad taste in my mouth. But from us here at Action Toon Brothers to you, our loyal listeners, stay safe, enjoy the winter, and as always,
Keep
it sleazy.